The nature of this administration is good for us. Because of Trump's way, he is an anomaly. There's never been no president quite like Mr. Trump. There's something that he's doing. Trump is destroying every enemy that was an enemy of our rise. Who's the enemy of our rise? Is it the Department of Justice, where we get none? Is it Congress, where you make a law that favors us and then you turn around and destroy it? Is it the media that has destroyed every black leader that stood up for us? Martin Luther King suffered it. Malcolm suffered it. He's attacking the media, calls it fake news. We have been the victims of some fake news.
Yes.
He's beating up the FBI. Go at it, baby. Yeah. They've been beating the hell out of us ever since J. Edgar Hoover and the county.
Preach.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful to hear. you know, a lot had to change for you to come to this perspective, and it's beautiful to listen to. So here's a few segment of that. We're gonna listen to Black Conservative 24 on this one, and I'm gonna give him credit for this video. I'll put a link in the description below because he's done a great work. Listen, he went on a little bit deeper with Louis Farrakhan. For those of you who don't know, this guy is very influential, respected in black culture a lot. But what he's arguing for here is just the difference in perspective of how much the world has changed as a result of what God, the way things are changing as a result of Donald Trump and everything else. Listen to what he says.
Interesting. Listen to this.
Mr. Trump is an anomaly. He's someone that doesn't fit the norm. You expected a man to be like the other presidents. You wanted him to be more presidential. He's so transparent. You wanted him to put on a suit and act dignified, like the thieves and robbers that dress in suits and tell lies. You wanted him to be like that. And you're angry because he's your reflection. He's an anomaly. You can't make him what you desire him to be so that you can say, oh, that's my president. He wasn't made that way. God has him here. What did you say, Farrakhan? Do you think that God is not interested in who is president of the United States of America? Especially when it's out of the time of evil? It's in our time now. Mr. Trump, he's like a gangster.
He's a gangster.
Just a minute, if so-and-so's, I'll bomb the you-know-what out of them. Huh? Well, man, this guy here. And you know what? He's real.
Beautiful.
Yes, he is. And that's been my argument too, as far in favor for Trump. Trump is real. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't lie. What you see is what you get. You get an honest man. You don't have to like the man. You don't have to agree with everything he does. But he is a real man. I've come to appreciate him. But to top it off, he's just the enemies of Trump. They creating a love in the hearts of those of independent for Trump. They don't realize the more you attack Trump, man, the bigger it becomes. He just gets better every time you go after him. So, yeah. And I love what he said here, man. Trump is real. Trump is real. He's not lying to you. What you see is what you get.
He's real.
Beautiful. Now, the reason I share this clip is because this man perfectly pointed out the difference between the people who love Donald Trump and the people who hates him. The people who love Donald Trump supports him because he is real. He's just like you and I. He is not perfect and he knows it. For example, there's a video of Donald Trump online when he says, "Don't believe that I," meaning him, "can fix your life or completely fix this country." He said, "We're going to need help from the big boss," meaning God. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. Donald Trump knows that he's just a man. And what you see with him is what you're going to get. Now, the people who hate Donald Trump are basically people who are okay being lied to Monday to Sunday, every day of the week. You lie to them, they'll be okay with it. For example, you'll tell them that the economy is great and they just don't feel it yet, and they'll accept it. Yeah, the economy is great. When all you have to do is go to a store and buy some groceries or try buying a house, then compare the price to recent years. Common sense. And they hate him because they were already hateful people. Hate resides in them. The only way you can have that much hate for another human being is because you were already a hateful person to begin with, bro. It was already in you. And now Donald Trump, a man you never met, never talked to, just brings it out. He just brings it out. Everybody was okay when Donald Trump was in the movie Home Alone. Nobody said anything. When Donald Trump was with Will Smith in Prince of Bel-Air, when hip hop artists were talking about Donald Trump, everybody was okay. Now, all of a sudden, he's a racist. The media lied to you. They lied to you. And you were okay being lied to, so you accept it. And because you were already a hateful person, now you hate him. Hey, why do you hate Donald Trump? The way he talk, really, really spiritual battle, bro. It's a spiritual battle. God bless this man. You let me know what you think about this in the comment section. This is my opinion, of course. Let me know what you think about this. God bless you. Catch you on the next one.
Man, this guy here. And you know what? He's real.
That's what we love about him. He's real. He's real, man. What you see is what you get. He doesn't sugarcoat the facts. He is real. Friends, I don't know how the Dems are going to stop this. This is an unstoppable train. I'm telling you, man. When you see men like Louis Farrakhan begin to support Trump, that is a large, that's a serious volume, man, that's been turned up. Do you know how many blacks are going to back up Trump as a result of this guy? Just brace yourself. You haven't seen nothing yet. Friends, that's why he's got my vote, man. I don't apologize for it anymore. He's got my vote. Oh, Darth Vader. Man, you can join us anytime. Join us anytime. I did send you the link on Discord, so we have a little bit of time left. So I do have another video coming your way. So yeah, before we touch that one, yeah, it's just amazing to watch how the world's perspective is changing about Trump in the most powerful way. It's kind of like when you look at Trump's story, if I were to put a spiritual lesson on this, like the experience of Joseph reminds me of that. Like here is Joseph getting these dreams, special coat, and he knew God was calling him for a special mission. Even though he kind of bragged a little bit about his dreams, he should have stayed quiet. But God's plan was going to work out no matter what. But what I love about this, the enemies of Joseph, the brothers of Joseph, their plans was to shut him up, end his life. But you know what they ended up doing as a result of going after Joseph in the way that they did? They ended up doing the will of God. It's just amazing. Like when you read that, you're like, oh my Lord, like, wait a minute. Like, what I'm trying to say is there is something you need to understand about. There's a book, I forgot what it's called, by Luther Head. I have it in my library. It's a small book. And he talks about the will of God, right? It's kind of like there is what is known as God's original will, God's permissive will, and God's ultimate will. They're not all the same, right? God's original will, this is what I want for you, right? This is what God wants for you. But as you go along with it, it works out. That's kind of the original will. Like God's original will was that Adam and Eve were supposed to not to listen to God and not listen to the serpent. That was the original will. But in God's original will, there's also what is known the permissive will. The permissive will is that God respects choices. He allows things to happen. I have the permissive will to do something crazy that could put me behind bars right now, right? Is it God's will for me to go to prison tonight? No, but I can do something crazy enough that will put me behind bars. You get it? So in his permissive will, he will allow it to happen. But there's also what's called as God's ultimate will. This is the point. When it comes to God's ultimate will, it is something that is sovereign. And what that means is beyond humanity. Like there's nothing you can do when it comes to sovereignty. And I think in God's sovereignty, there are things that happens. No matter how it happens, it always falls in line with his ultimate will. So it's like the worst thing you could possibly think of, no matter how painful it is, no matter how tragic it is, eventually it works out for God's will. In God's ultimate will, listen to this. Jesus will come. In God's ultimate will, the gospel will be preached. In God's ultimate will, he's going to knock on your door one day. He's going to appeal to you by the gospel because it's part of his ultimate will for you to be saved. So he's going to try to, in his will, he will reach you. Doesn't mean he's going to save you without your decision. You understand? Doesn't mean he's going to save you without your consent. It doesn't work like that. But in his ultimate will, everybody will be given an opportunity to be saved. But when it comes to his ultimate will, there's nothing you can do to undo what God has in his ultimate mind. So it's pretty amazing how this thing works out. It's almost like we are confined. We are in a circle. We can only do so much. So he's like the enemies of Trump, right? What they fail to understand, if Trump is in God's ultimate will, so if Trump is in God's ultimate will to be president in 2024, everything they do will only work to bring this to pass. It's like everything they do. You can sit back and watch it happen. And they should know that by now. It's like indictments, persecution, Stormy Daniels. I mean, like election fraud, you name it. What has happened to Trump as a result? What's been the result? The result has been he's gotten better. He's gotten stronger. He's more bold. His polls numbers are up. Just saying, man, what the enemy meant for evil, God turns it around for good. I think that's what's going on here. That's all I'm saying.